We are now in the second month of the year and I still haven't found a 5-star book. What is going on? And also what's going on with my throat? For some reason I'm feeling like there's like not exactly this is TMI. Don't worry, I've just come back from Iceland and I am fine. I haven't caught anything. I'm not sick. But it's just been a really, really, really strange and awful few days since coming back, just with things happening in the booktube sphere. And I've just been way too distracted the past couple of days as well. So I'm going to be turning my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm not even going to be looking at it. I want to put my head down and just read and hopefully find a 5-star. So that's what's going to happen in this vlog. This is going to be a vlog where it won't end until I, get a 5-star book. This has been done before on booktube. There are quite a few people who have done it. So this is not an original concept. And I've always wanted to do it, but I've always been scared because what happens if I just don't find a 5-star is the only thing. I'm so hard to please. I'm so tricky to please. So it could end up taking 5 weeks and I've got to put videos out by then as well. But don't worry, like I will not be just giving something 5 stars for the sake of, ending the vlog or anything. I'm genuinely going to keep recording this until I find a 5-star. And I'm going to be mood reading. I am going to pick books that I think could potentially be 5 stars. I have been proven wrong more than right with 5-star predictions. So that really doesn't give any indication of how long this vlog will be, because I myself cannot predict. However, I will be starting with The Teller of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. And I have had my eye on this since I got it from Veryloot. I think it sounds and looks amazing. So it does have a strong chance of getting a 5-star. So this follows Teo, and she goes along countrysides like this, giving fortunes to people who ask for them. And this is already set up like such a beautiful visual to me. I do believe that I'm going to have such a fun time with this. But Teo is recruited by a couple of people, I think a mercenary and a thief, who need to find a lost child. So this is more like an adventure kind of story. Like I do love a good story where it's just all vibes, but this sounds like it's going to be more than vibes. So this could definitely well be a 5-star read. At least I'm really hoping so. But at the same time, I don't want this vlog to end too early. So even though I hope to give this a 5-star, I do have levels of 5 stars. This might get a little bit confusing, a little bit complex. Get your pens and paper, start writing this down. Could get convoluted. But when you have like a 5-star prediction, you have ones that you think, oh yeah, 1,100,000,000% yes, that's going to get a 5-star. But then you have ones where I say, oh, 1,000,000,000,000,000%, that's going to get a 5-star. You know what I mean? Like, there's different levels to a 5-star prediction, in my opinion. So this is a 5-star prediction with wiggle room, is how I should probably put it. There are other books I want to read, like mood read, because I really want to do a whole lot more mood reading this year, especially when I'm struggling so hard to get a 5-star. So I do have other 5-star predictions that I think have more of a possibility of getting 5 stars. So I'm probably going to go, like, in order of what I think the most of will get a 5. I'm over explaining. It doesn't need to be this hard. Let's just sit down and read. This is exactly what I've been wanting to do today. It's exactly why I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I just want to bloody read. And this is another reason why I don't get a whole lot more work done as well. Ever since, what is that on your back? Oh, fluff. Ever since coming back from Iceland, all they've wanted to do is play, which is honestly fine. Like, I've missed them. They've missed me. And it's just like constant. Like, they just want to play so much. Toby was probably just eating right now. Ash is just constantly like, Gav, get the fishing rod with the little strip from a parcel, because they freaking love that. They won't play with a normal toy, they'll play with this though. Ooh, oh, you want it? Oh, you want it? Get it, get it, get it, get it. Can I read now, Ash? See, he takes it off me. But then he'll come back, like 2 seconds later. No, Can I read now?
I'm so mature, collected, and sensible. Except when I get hit with rejection. To turn me down, well, that's just unethical. I'll turn into someone you're scared to know. But if you need my love, my clothes are off, I'm coming over to your place. And if you don't need my love, I didn't want your little bitch, yes, anyway. Yeah, I'm a busy woman, I yoga, baby, namaste. If you don't want me, I'll just deem you gay. But if you need my love, my clothes are off, I'm coming over to your place. And if you don't need my love, I didn't want your little bitch yes anyway. Yeah, I'm a busy woman, I wouldn't let you come into my calendar any night.
I thought I'd give you an update on what I've read so far. I am now 20% in, according to the audiobook, and thank God I'm listening to the audiobook, because if I was not, like in reading in tandem, if I was not, I would have not had barely 5% read so far. Those bloody cats. I'm telling you, I play with them a million, bajillion, cajillion, manillion times every half an hour. Like, I'll play with them for a bit, and then I'll finally sit down to read, because Ash will take whatever I'm playing with and like run away with it, which is what he likes to do. He likes to run away with it, hide it, into like, or bury it somewhere. I say bury it somewhere, like put it onto something. I just let him crack on with it. And then if he wants to play with it again, he'll bring it back. He's like a dog. He actually is like a dog. And then he'll come back like half an hour later. I'm like, for fuck's sake, leave me alone. Toby was a lot more chill though. He's currently on the cat tree over in the corner. And I decided to actually move the cat tree in here. I've made the gap behind the sofa bigger. And so that is more closer to like the TV and stuff. And I'm loving the way the room looks now. The cat tree was in the kitchen. So now I have more room in the kitchen. And the main reason why I was in the kitchen was because they loved looking out the window, but they can also look out of that window. So it's all good. And there's more action in my backyard. Lots more cats come in, lots of birds. So that should keep them happy. And Toby loves to play with things when you stick it through the fabric of the thing. Again, I'm telling you, my cats have such very specific ways of playing. It's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, talking about the Tell Us More Fortunes, I do like it so far. It's not feeling like a 5-star. I genuinely don't think it's gonna be 5-star. So it's not gonna be a short video. Hip hip hooray. Also, through the audiobook, I know that pronouncing Tao is Tao, not Teo. I think I said Teo in the introduction. It's Tao. And I do really like what Tao does. And I love the setup of this. I love the fact that she has come to this small village. And I love the theatrics of it as well, because she's like, oh, it's not often I get to do a big announcement when I arrive. And I was wondering, is she just a fraud? And there will be no spoilers in this. But I was like thinking, oh, maybe she'll just be a fraud. Maybe that will be what it is. But it's not. Like, she genuinely tells small fortunes. And it does feel a little bit magical, but not in an overt way. It's very subtle. But yeah, because of like the whole theatrical side of it, I don't know, it just felt like the wizard from The Wizard of Oz just putting on the theatrics and pretending to be all magical. But this is genuinely rather magical, but not outwardly so. So don't expect that going into it, really. But I've been loving the interactions with some of the other characters, and I'm loving some of the representation so far too. Some of it was like really, really quite sweet and quite touching as well. There was a part where Tao gives this woman a reading. I'm not going into specifics with that, but it's one of the first ones that she does. It's like very, very early on in the book, and it just touched me. It touched my heart. I thought it was really, really well done, and I love the fact that it was included in this. The plot is definitely now kicked in. I love the fact that we are getting like travelers and stuff, like we are starting to travel more and get companions for it. But yeah, the plot of the missing child has kicked in, so that's made it a little bit more interesting now too. And I'm really liking the audiobook narrator as well. Has a certain charm to it with the narrator's voice. The voice is giving it that little added charm. So I'm just enjoying it a lot. So yeah, my Do Not Disturb thing was a little bit of a failure. I'm not gonna lie. I've managed like 4 chapters in like 3-4 hours. Like I hadn't Do Not Disturb, so I couldn't see notifications pop up. But then I would check every now and then I would feel bad for not replying. So I would reply to someone, but then we'd talk. And so I just felt bad because I hate ignoring people. And so if I put something on Do Not Disturb or like sleep notifications or whatever, I just started getting more anxious. Sometimes I get anxious when I say like lots of notifications, like I have to get rid of the notifications as soon as possible. But I get just as anxious if I think there's going to be notifications and I don't know about it. It's a double-edged sword. Like, can someone explain my brain to me, please? Can someone explain that? Oh, Ash is now sitting in my computer seat. Do you like being there, Papa? Do you like being there, me baby boy? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's so cute. He finally calmed down. I fed him just before this update, so he should be content now, I hope. Welcome to the corner of my kitchen. This is the first time I've ever sat here, because this was where the cat tree was. It's so weird. Like, I'm really going through my house and just changing things up a little bit, like each and every day. And I really am loving the way it's turning out, but the kitchen looks very bare at the minute. I'm gonna have to get something to maybe put on the wall. I don't know, some other bits and bobs I can put around the room. It's nearly 9 p.m. I have training at 9 a.m. So I really should not be drinking decaf coffee right now. And like, obviously decaf, so it's not really going to keep me up or anything, but it's the drinking of the liquids. I have been peeing far too much, but I really wanted to feel rather cozy tonight and really chill. And I just wanted it, okay? So if I have to sacrifice sleep because I'll be getting up to go to the toilet like every half an hour, that's on me. But I am 192 pages into the Teller of Small Fortunes. It's definitely not a 5-star. It's definitely not. You know how you can just tell? Like, I'm the teller of small ratings. Although it's not going to be small rating. Like, I'm not disliking it or anything. I'm just finding myself a little bit bored now. And I hate saying that about nearly everything I've been reading this year. I don't know if it's because I don't know what it is. If I knew what it is, I'd fix it. Maybe it's just because I'm very distracted as well. I am paying the utmost attention to this at the minute too. This is my Patreon book club book and we're doing the book club on Saturday. It's currently Thursday. So I have a discussion in 2 days. This is the earliest I've ever read a book club book as well. Usually it's the day of. But no, I have to like really lock in for this. And there's not really a whole lot to say. I'm at the part, again, no spoilers, I'm at the part where they're given a sort of mission. And that's kind of piquing my interest. It's making me a little bit more excited. And I am liking the, almost like the growth of the characters because they're getting to know one another a little bit more. They are like different kind of travelers and they now are a unit. And it's cool to see how they gel and how they don't gel. There are a couple of times when it doesn't go smoothly for them. They haven't become best friends overnight. So I'm finding that really cool. I am still enjoying the setting. The setting's pretty cool. Actually, the main character, Tao, there was something that she revealed about herself and her gift and what she does. That was a little bit heartbreaking. I did feel genuinely upset during that moment. Oh, and there was like something like a little bit more uplifting as well that happened that kind of ties into something that happens earlier on that I really enjoyed. I may be a little bit bored. It may not be hooking me in, but there are aspects of it that I am enjoying. I'm focusing on the positives. But what the hell am I going to talk about during this live show? I do not know. I say I mentioned this before. I think it was in my Emboss or Toss video, episode 3, where I was like, I feel like I'm not in a reading slump. I'm in an opinion slump. And I just don't feel like I'm having any opinions on things. That doesn't sound like an opinion I've had of something else before. Oh, there's a discussion questions page. Okay, I'm just going to use this on Saturday. So it's not all doom and gloom. That joke where I said the teller of small ratings, that was just a joke, okay? I took the opportunity to use a pun. So don't hold me at my word. I don't think I'm going to give this a small rating. I think it's going to be a very good rating, just not a perfect 5-star, amazing, great rating. I could read some more. I'm obviously not going to bed for like the next couple of hours now that I'm drinking my decaf and I'm just chilling. I might read in here. Actually, no, I won't. It's not like as cozy to read in the kitchen at this time. It is during the day because like the sunlight's coming in. It looks quite nice. It isn't as cozy in here. So I'm going to look at ways of making my kitchen more cozy so that I can sit in here and read on a nighttime and not just during the day. So watch this space. I don't think I'll be doing anything in this vlog. I'm teasing you about renovating my kitchen. Not renovating, but decorating my kitchen and changing it a little bit. And you're not even going to see, I might show you actually tomorrow during daylight what's different about this kitchen. If you're interested, I don't even know if you're interested. I think you will. I think you will. I definitely wear this too much, don't I? I think I wear it too much. This one and the Tigger one. The Tigger one is getting washed. This one, I'll probably put in the wash tomorrow. I wear it way too much, but it has become one of my favourite jumpers, sweatshirts, whatever you want to call it, ever. But I have just come back from meeting with a friend. I did training first thing this morning and then I went to meet my friend for some food. That was really nice. And also then I got to finish The Teller of Small Fortunes because I was listening to my audiobook as I was on my way there and back. I liked it. This is kind of cozy, but kind of not. I feel like there's a lot of heaviness in a lot of the conversations between characters I feel like you can have in a cozy fantasy, but I honestly didn't really get that many cozy vibes by the end. I love the idea of traveling from place to place, but it also meant that this story felt like it didn't really have a solid core. And I think by the end of it, it kind of just lost my interest, I'm afraid. It's definitely not a 5-star. I'm so sorry. It's like a 3-star. I think a 3-star. Like, I did like Tao. I thought she was a fantastic main character, and I really understood and sympathized with her, but I wasn't gripped. And I thought with the story of, you know, the girl going missing and them finding her, I thought that would be a story that would really grip me and keep me gripped. But because I think that, yeah, that each chapter was a lot of movement, we had different people that we'd meet, we'd have a different place, which obviously they're trying to find someone who was missing, but I felt like the roots of the story just didn't really take hold, and that includes the plot. So while I'm pretty disappointed that this wasn't a 5-star, I feel like maybe in my heart of hearts I didn't think it would be. I did think I would enjoy it, and I did. Don't get me wrong, I did. But not 5-star. Nowhere near a 5-star. Have I ever given a cozy fantasy 5-star? I don't think so. I think maybe the closest was The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. But that was the closest. Oh, actually, Bookshops and Bone Dust. Travis Baldry. Yeah, that one I think I prefer over The Spell Shop. I liked Legends of Laddies, but I didn't love that one. Just like how I like this, but I don't really love it. I'm sorry. But it does mean that I've read another BookBox book. I've been so good at reading BookBox books the past few months. Actually, I think Emboss or Toss has definitely helped with that, because I was getting so bad at getting BookBox books and not reading them. So damn, like, this was another one checked off, and I feel so proud about that. So yay, even though it was a failure for this vlog specifically, because we are looking for a 5-star to end this vlog, I'm also glad as well, because I think just reading one book in a vlog might not have been interesting enough for you. So let's give the second book a try. You know what they say, first the worst, second the best. I will be reading James by Percival Everett. I read the first chapter of this when I was on my way home from Iceland, and I was really liking what I was reading so far. This was in the BookTubers Best Books lists of like quite a lot of people, and it made that, you know, the big video that Katie did compiling all of the books that were mentioned the most, and this was in there, and it just made me really excited to read it. So I picked this one up at the airport in Iceland. It wasn't cheap, but that's fine. This is a reimagining of The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn? The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, which I have read, but I read a very long time ago. I think I read it in college or thereabouts. So it has been a long time. I don't think I need to refresh my memory with it to get straight into this, because this one does follow Jim, who is a character in Huckleberry Finn. He overhears the fact that he's going to be sold to a white man in New Orleans, and so he runs away, and I believe at the same time Huckleberry Finn has faked his own death and he's running away, and I can't really remember the book all that much. It's been a long time since I read the book, but I do think they spend a lot of time together. It says, as all readers of American literature know. I mean, I've read American literature, and I don't fully 100% know, because it's been so long. So it says it's both harrowing and ferociously funny, told from the enslaved Jim's point of view. So I'm going to get started reading this today. I'm feeling less distracted today. I do still feel distracted, but I feel less distracted, which is good, like we're moving in the right direction. So hopefully I can just sit down, shut up, and read. Okay, happy Saturday. It is only midday and it's already so dark. It's already getting darker. We are so close to getting spring again. I just cannot wait. We are just riding it out until then. I was also supposed to go to the gym today. I have training 3 times a week. I've already done all of those. But on a Saturday, I do like to just go by myself and just spend an hour there doing things. But it was such a social week last week. It's been another social week this week. I kind of just wanted to spend the day just in the house, maybe not talking to too many people. I do have a book club live show tonight for the Teller of Small Fortunes, but other than that, I don't really want to do anything else. I just want to stay in the house. I do kind of want to keep shifting things around too. I will also, after this, show you around the living room and the kitchen just to show you what's kind of changed. Although if this is your first video, you may not know how it looked before, but you know when you're just in a mood to just change things. That's just like me. I'm even thinking, should I bring my desk upstairs with my computer and everything, take it out the living room and have it up here? But I do think it would be in the way because that desk is a little bit too big. When should I get a new desk, like a smaller desk, and get rid of that one? Even though it's a standing desk, so it does really help. Oh, there's like so many things to think about. But anyway, I did manage to finish James by Percival Everett this morning. This is my second cup of coffee today, and I finished it during my first. And like, I need to be better at filming like B-roll and stuff, but I'm just like a little bit exhausted of filming a little bit too. So this might not be as B-roll heavy. I mean, especially since I just did the Iceland vlog. So there was a lot of B-roll in that, and I think it was about like 10 songs in it. So I feel like there might be a lack of B-roll, but I did sit down with my coffee and I just read while playing with Ash and Toby as well. This was so good. Like, I really don't think you do need to read Huckleberry Finn before this. I do think you can get a sense of what the author is trying to say and do with this story. And even then, I think it's just more of a exploration of Jim as a character, who is the main character of this one, and well, I guess the main character of Huckleberry Finn too. I do think Huck is the main character, but I do think Jim, especially after reading this, I guess some parts of my memory came back with some of the story of the fact that in Huckleberry Finn, Huck does run away and Jim accompanies him in the dangerous position that Jim was put in because of Huck. And this one, honestly, is more about the humanization of Jim as a character and what he has to do and hide about himself in order to fit in with this society and act in a certain role as a slave to, you know, the white folk. But what I loved about this is how much Percival Everett really does show you how intelligent and amazing Jim is, and the fact that this performance of, you know, like, he has like this amazing vernacular, he is so fantastic at language, and yet when he's around white people, he has to assume the role of somebody who doesn't know how to speak properly, just so that the white people didn't feel threatened. And I think that was such a awful thing that he had to do, especially given Jim's potential and how academically gifted he is. Like, he is so amazing at so many things. Like, he can write and he loves to read, and you really do feel the power of the pen, the power of story through him, and how that could change lives and change his life. And there was like a little bit of an emotional moment with a pencil, which I'm not going to get into, but yeah, it's like the idea of having power and how that was always taken away from Black people and how utterly dehumanizing and abhorrent it is. Gorgeously written. I feel like I've been saying this a lot about different books this year. Gorgeously written. Really gorgeously written. I really do think Percival Everett had a fantastic way of telling this story, of not just reimagining Huckleberry Finn or like even trying to rewrite it. I do feel like he was just trying to give Jim as a character to have more agency and to have more of a voice, and that really shines through with Percival Everett's narrative. And I do think Percival Everett has written other books too. I don't think this is a debut. Oh yeah, that's another thing actually. This is quite comedic, or at least Percival Everett, especially at the start, makes it come across as rather comedic when you have, you know, Jim talking to another Black person and they're using all of this intelligent language, and then a white person comes and they start to pretend that they don't know how to speak properly. And also when he pretends that he believes that a witch put something above his bed because he was being tricked by Hook and his friend. There was definitely a comedic side to this, while also juxtaposing that with some like really awful and heartbreaking things too. And I think Percival Everett did a fantastic job of balancing that. Sometimes it could probably come across as too much, as in like too much comedy can really underhand some of the more serious parts. But Percival Everett had such a fantastic balance that I never thought either or like kind of took away from the other. It was just brilliantly written. Sorry, I was just trying to see if he'd written anything else. His most recent books include Dr. No, The Trees, Telephone, So Much Blue, Erasure, and I Am Not Sidney Poitier. Oh, American Fiction, the feature film based on his novel Erasure. Well, there's a film? Okay, I kind of really want to check out Erasure and then watch the film. I think that could be really cool. But yeah, sorry, I really enjoyed it. It's gonna be a 4.5. It's not quite a 5-star. I have so much praise and adoration for this book. I do think when it comes to Jim's family and the kind of journey that he goes on, there is some parts of it that I think could have been enhanced a little bit more, but that's probably just a nitpicky thing. I do think this is brilliant, just not a 5-star to me. but I can see why it's a 5-star to other people. And it comes very, very close. It's a 4.5. Not your favorite book of all time, but it was fantastic nonetheless. And now I need to pick the next book. I was like, I know I have a manga channel, but that is like to do all of the like the spoilery stuff in that. So I can still read manga if I want to in a reading vlog on this channel, but I'm looking now and I just don't think there really is a manga that I want to read, because I'm currently in the middle of Freyren and now Vinland Saga on my Gavin Reads All the Manga channel, and I kind of don't really want to start a new series because all the other ones that I'm reading I'm kind of caught up on, or I'm planning a video on for my second channel. There's like nothing in this room that I could read for this vlog. Not even the nostalgia books either, because yeah, I usually do a binge read of them if I have to for a dumb video project. So there's nothing there. So let's go into the other room. Let's see if there's anything I can pick in here. My 25 books to read in 2025. The thing is, I haven't gotten that written down. I have the video for it, but for some reason I didn't write those books down. I have actually read a few on that list. I think I've read about 4 so far, and they were in the first month of the year. So I'm doing pretty well with my 25 books to read in 2025, let me tell you. But it does mean I have to open the video and watch it for me to remember what's even on that list. Ooh, Zora and me. We could do a middle grade. We could absolutely do a middle grade. I was like, oh, I need to read this, but it's Ash. This is still the one so far that I'm feeling the most drawn to. I mean, it is Black History Month in America right now, and this is written by Black authors. So I do think I'm going to go with Zora and me. And especially since I do have that book club later, I don't want to spend too much time reading something else today because I do want to prepare for that live show. So Zora and me, we're going to knock off another book from my 25 books to read in 2025, and we're going to tackle a middle grade just to add some variety to this vlog, you know? I also said I would show you what I've done different to the kitchen and the living room, so I'm going to quickly show you that now too. I used to have the cat tree over here. Sorry, I have been hoovering. I did have the cat tree here next to the window, but I've moved it out of the kitchen. Now I've put my table and chairs in the corner next to the radiator, which is really nice for the winter. And it did used to be like in the middle of the room, so it was a little bit harder to like kind of move around. So I like the fact that that's in the corner now. I do need to get something for the walls though, because it's looking really, really bare right now. If anyone has any suggestions, do let me know. I do need to do the dishes, which I will do later today, I promise. I still don't really have that much room, so I do have the calendar in front of the washing machine, because it's not really that I use it that often. Use the washing machine like maybe once every 2 weeks. And yeah, I've got my cat food down there, the water there, so it's away from the food. And I've put my bin there in front of the freezer because I don't really use my freezer all that much anyway. And it did used to be under the window, but that's a bit more spacious now. This, it's fine behind the door. Plus, it means that when I close this door like this, that's how far it'll go. And it does mean I can still get in the fridge. Like it's the perfect way of getting in the fridge. So it works. Not perfect, but it works. And then in the living room, I have moved this sofa further forward. Like it's really far forward now. And it is quite close-ish to the TV, which is quite nice because it means I get to have this space as a space where I watch TV, even though it's not that often. Got the cat tree in the corner now. And yeah, this walkway down here is a lot more spacious, filled with cat toys, filled with shit, essentially. But it keeps it there, and it's like pretty much for the cats. Ash is currently asleep on there. And it means that they can also look out the window. So yeah, it still works, it still works. And then I still have things here. I've still got my reading chair there, and I've got my desk there, which is a bit messy right now. That's fine. Like this is how it's looking, and I like it. I like it. It's getting better progressively. I have been making small changes to this room and the kitchen and even upstairs, like very, very gradually over the past couple of months. So it's like really coming together. And then I hope by the summer, everything in here is pretty much done and sorted so that I can maybe start working on the garden and like having a table and chairs outside or something, and maybe putting some lights up, and you know what I mean? Just to make it look nicer outside too. Obviously, I'm not going to do that right now because it's been miserable for a long time. It's raining, it's cloudy, it's just not very nice. I thought I would just show you all of that just in case you were interested. If not, I'm sorry.
Judgment, I know I have good taste. It's funny and it's ironic that only I feel that way. I promise them that you're different. makes mistakes, but just don't. I heard that you're an actor, so act like a stand-up guy. Whatever devil's inside you, don't let him out tonight. I tell them it's just your culture, and everyone rolls their eyes. Yeah, I know. All I'm asking, baby, please, 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 don't prove I'm right. Please, 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 don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you, don't embarrass me like the others are. Please, please, please. I have a fun idea, babe. Maybe just stay inside.
So I've done my live show and the book club actually went pretty well. Despite me feeling like I didn't really have that much to say about The Teller of Small Fortunes, I still think I did a good job. It is just after midnight, so I will be heading to bed because I've also finished Zora in Me, and I had no idea Zora was actually a real person. So this is actually a fictionalized coming-of-age story of Zora Neale Hurston. And Zora Neale Hurston, which I found out when I got to the end of the book in this small biography page, which Zora sounded like such a cool person, but yeah, they became a writer. They wrote Their Eyes Were Watching God, which is apparently a novel that's been praised as a classic of Black literature and a tribute to the strength of Black women. So I feel like I need to check it out now because this was a really good middle grade. I have been struggling a little bit with middle grade, I'm not gonna lie, but this actually reminded me why I do like to delve into it every now and then. This was actually kind of dark, especially that first chapter. Oh my god, so I haven't even told you what this is about. But yeah, this is set in a small town of Eatonville in Florida, and someone is murdered, and Zora believes that it is a shape-shifting gator man. And let me tell you, that first chapter, you literally see a man getting snatched into the water by an alligator and literally dragged into the water underneath, and people jumping in trying to save. And you say all of this and you say how traumatized the kids are when they say this. This is like, yeah, the first 5 pages. I was like, okay, this is my kind of middle grade. And even after that, I do think it continues to have this element of atmosphere, especially in everything to do with death and the stories that Zora says. So Zora does believe that it is a shape-shifting gator man, but nobody else really believes her. So it does take a lot of her investigating with Carrie, who is the main character. So this is Zora and Me. Carrie is the main character, but it's mainly focused on Zora because it's like first person in Carrie's perspective, but they mainly say Zora. And there's also Teddy, who is their friend, and I really enjoyed their friendship dynamic. It did play out like a really good mystery, so I will give it so much credit for that. Also seems to be the first in a series, but I think maybe it's a different mystery every time because I thought it was a pretty good, nice ending. Wrapped it up pretty well. There is a lot to say about family and community in this. I think a lot of middle grade readers will take so much from, and even myself as well. I do enjoy it when a middle grade can still teach me some things and give me some lessons too. Really enjoy the writing style between these authors. I honestly kept forgetting that this was written by 2 people. So I thought they did a great job coming together to bring this narrative to life. Genuinely kept forgetting it was 2 authors. Very, very good. But not 5 stars. Not 5 stars again, I'm afraid. It's more like a 4-star. But hey, considering I have been struggling a little bit with middle grade the past few years, 4-star is pretty fantastic in my eyes. I'm way too tired now to be picking another book to read, so I will do that tomorrow. I have scheduled some... Oh wait, no, it's Sunday tomorrow. Oh my god, why am I thinking tomorrow's Monday? I was going to say I've scheduled some public sprints tomorrow, but I haven't. It's on Monday, so I've still got 2 days. It's only Saturday night. Tomorrow is Sunday. And I do have a Once Upon a Time watch along tomorrow night, but hopefully I can read something before then. But yeah, I don't really know what to pick. I've already done a book off my 25 books to read in 2025. I'll see if there's something else on my shelves that I am possibly gravitating towards. But I'm starting to lose hope that I'm going to find a 5-star relatively quickly. I know I've only done 3 books so far, but considering, yeah, I haven't had a 5-star this year so far, I'm really, really scared. I don't think this vlog is going to end. Look who's come to say hello. Dobu! Look at Dobu, who's that? Who's that? Is that you? Is that you? Is that you? Fancy seeing you here again. It is time for another book, but I again have no idea what to pick. And what am I going to give 5 stars? I don't know. I genuinely have no idea what I'm going to give 5 stars to. This was another book that was in my 25 books to read in 2025, The Woodsmoke Women's Book of Spells by Rachel Greenlow. This could be a good option. Again, it's not too long, it's about 300 pages. I could probably get a lot of that knocked out before my live show later for the Once Upon a Time watch along. I'm still like, what the fuck do I read? I genuinely thought picking books off my 25 books to read in 2025 would mean I would definitely have a 5-star. And so far that's proving impossible. Oh, I've also had my eye on this. I've heard it's a little bit like The Back Rooms, Coup de Grace by Sofia Ajram. I believe this follows a man who wants to unalive himself, and he gets on a train, and when he gets off the train at the subway station is like a never-ending hall of corridors, and it's like this big mindfuck kind of thing. Yeah, there's claustrophobic hallways, vast cathedral-esque rooms he passes through, the exit is nowhere in sight, and it's a novella, and it's horror. And have I read any horror so far this year? It's already in the middle of February and I already can't recall if I've read a horror so far this year. I don't think I have. This could actually be the one. Okay, so these could potentially be my next 2 books. Potentially. I want to sit down and read this. Oh, I did get it from the Abominable Book Box, and it came with like this ticket thing, almost like a prop from the book. That's kind of cool. You can use that as a bookmark. But this is the one. This is the book that's going to give me a 5-star. This book is definitely not 5 stars. More like a 2.5. It's definitely my least favorite one I've read so far in this vlog. I had high hopes for it. The start of this did seem like it was going to be a really, really good book. And it is really heavy and really deep. So I would say, if you're going into this, do know that there is a lot of stuff to do with depression and unaliving oneself. All of that is very prevalent. It's a really huge recurring theme. And unfortunately for me, there is just so much flowery fluff. There is so much fluff, in my opinion, that really bogs down this entire thing. Like, a lot of it is internal, which you do understand, as, you know, this is very character driven. And so you get a lot of the internal, but because of the plot, because the main character Vicken has found himself in this very weird circumstance where he does get off the metro and this station is now a labyrinth of corridors and rooms, and you think that's going to be very, very scary, and in parts it was. There were some disgusting moments in it, for sure, but again, because there was such a focus on the internal, that it kind of meant the external just kind of fell by the wayside, and I didn't really feel the fear by the end of it. And because I did feel like the author was maybe doing a little bit too much in order to try and be philosophical, be deep, it just really distracted me from the narrative. So yeah, 2.5 stars. I liked how there's a little bit of a choose your own adventure moment in this, which I thought was pretty cool. There was some breaking of the fourth wall, which I did find a little bit conflicting at times. To me personally, it started to dampen the effect that this book was trying to convey of the messages and the themes I was trying to portray. I just felt like breaking the fourth wall just kind of undermined some of that. There was a mention of the Titanic, which, you know, I always do appreciate. Yeah, there was a little bit of grossness, and I like the fact that there was LGBTQ plus representation. I just didn't really care too much for it. I don't even think I'm giving you very good opinions right now. I feel like I'm probably the personality higher on BookTube. I just don't really know too much of what to say about it. It's very short. Some of the chapters were incredibly, incredibly short, but I genuinely wish we felt more of that backrooms atmosphere rather than having just like, because even sometimes the internal stuff will be quite random. Randomly, it'll just be like, have you ever thought a person would have a fantasy about you? And just like these kinds of thoughts and feelings, which I'm sure if you're stuck in this endless loop, you will have random and different thoughts. But it just got to an exhausting point where I was like, okay, what is the point? What is the point in that? I just felt so unsatisfied by it. And maybe, yeah, it was intentional, the fact that this is sort of meandering and it goes in a very aimless direction. I think that could be the point that the author is making, but at the same time, it isn't something that I personally enjoyed. So 2.5 stars. I didn't really like it all that much. The promise was there, but it didn't follow through on that promise. So I have no idea what to read next. I think I might wait until tomorrow, even though there's still a good few hours in the day. I still have 2.5 hours before my live show. So I'm like, what can I do in the meantime? I might edit my Vinland Saga vlog that I filmed in Iceland. I was going to wait a little bit because, you know, I've just been so swamped trying to catch up on other things. But I might try and edit that because it isn't really that long, so it shouldn't be too hard. And then I have my live show later. And then with all of the weird stuff happening this week, all of the distractions, being able to just sit down and read finally, because I wasn't that distracted by reading this. I think I'm finally finding my flow with being able to tune out the outside world and just get stuck into reading has been so helpful today, but the universe is still trying to distract me. But I'm slowly but surely winning the war. Also, my Thrive meals have come for the week, and I think I'm going to go for the Taiwanese chili chicken for my dinner. Nice. I had so much time this morning. I got up much more earlier than I usually do, and I still lost track of time, so now I'm rushing to training. Also, it's predicted that it's going to snow today, so I think I brought the snow back from Iceland, which is amazing. So yeah, I'm currently on my way to the gym. I am going to change tactics today for this reading challenge because I really do want to find this bloody 5-star in the next couple of days. So my mum is coming and she's dropping off my broken binding box, which has my order of Blood Over Brighthaven in. Not 100% sure who the author is right now, but she's also bringing sushi, and that should definitely help with finding a 5-star, in my opinion. Great, now I'm at the part of the hill that I hate. It's just always this bit that's just so sludgy. It's the only bit too, you can see where it ends. Then I've got to like walk in it. Ugh. I always worry I'm going to slip. Oh my god. Okay, I'm fine. Like, I woke up at 8:30 and I had everything sorted. Like, I had my drinks sorted by 9 and I didn't need to leave till 10. So I was just sitting there for an hour, you know, having a coffee, having my breakfast. Well, how did I run out of time? How did I run out of time again?
Go on.
Did you say 6?
6, last one.
Every bloody time this damn train comes and puts the barriers down. Every time. I've just realised it's probably because the train follows the schedule, maybe, Gavin? That's why it happens every time you get there? I have my sushi, thanks mama, and I also have reading sprints in 1 hour. See you there. And then I also need to get Ash and Toby because they're so cute right now.
Oh, now they're snuggling.
Yes, and Ash has his arms around Toby and licking him. What's going on with you two, eh? Well, sprints last night was amazing. We got over 1,000 people watching at one point, which I haven't seen since Bookoplathon sprints back in 2021, 2022. So that's pretty incredible. Thank you so much to everyone who came along. I do want to try and do at least one monthly public sprint because I really do love being able to have the opportunity to just hang out and just have fun and just read. It wasn't my usual, these reading sprints won't end until I finish my book kind of sprints because I haven't finished my book just yet. I'm still, well, I'm over halfway. I'm on page 258 and it's 417 pages. So I still have like under 200 pages to go. I can't count right now. So I don't really have that much longer to go. So I do have some Patreon sprints coming up today in about 4 hours time from now. So I'm going to save the rest of it for them because I have a feeling this could be a 5-star. Potentially, like, I still want to reserve judgment. I don't want to get my hopes up too much. Blood Over Brighthaven by ML Wang follows, because I don't think I've told you what it's about, follows Siona, and she becomes the first female high mage, in the city of Tehran. There is this monster environmental disaster thing called the Blight that Sayana is slowly learning more about as we go on. I do love the magic system in this. I love how a lot of it, because the very start of this book, I would say like the first 60 pages, was Sayana's kind of test or exam in order to become a high mage. And that kind of set the tone of what to expect with the magic in this world. And I did find it so utterly fascinating how Sayana kind of controls it, how you are able to use energy, and sometimes you can put too much energy into it or too little energy into it. There are different things about this that I just find so fascinating. There was a lot of misogyny that Sayana had to face when, you know, she begins to sort of climb the ranks and she is part of the other mages, and it's literally just her as the only female. So there is a lot of sexism, but I do love the way that Sayana sometimes combats that. I do love like some of her comebacks and some of the things that she thinks. Even when they do try and get her down, she is like, no, not on my watch. I will say though, Sayana has a lot to learn as well, especially to do with class and judging an entire race of people called the Quen. Some of the things she says, I was like flabbergasted. I was like, this is my main character. Like, I do enjoy following her, but oh my God, does she have some things to learn? Does she have some burdens to bear and things to unlearn as well? Kind of religion heavy in a way, especially like the religion that the Tehran follow versus the Quen, who are like the other race, the other people who are part of this world. I don't want to say too much about it, but I do love when a main character has to unlearn a lot of stuff and finds out things that can really change their worldview. I love stuff like that. It does, again, like I said this on my sprints last night, it was feeling a little bit Will of the Many by James Islington to me, like in terms of the feelings I was getting. That was like in the first like maybe 6 chapters. And then like things were getting a little bit too dialogue heavy. A lot of the world stuff was getting told through dialogue. A lot of it is told between Sayana and her new assistant. I'll not say their name and stuff because again, that could also act as a little bit of a spoiler. So I won't say it, but it was like starting to get a little bit dialogue heavy. And at that point I was like, oh God, it's not going to be 5-star. It's not going to be 5-star. But then it got to around chapter 9, chapter 10. And I was like, okay, I'm back on track because this is like changing everything. And I am excited again. I am so excited again. Well, I mean, I've been excited for like the last couple of sprints I did last night as I was reading this book. So I'm now on chapter 15. So yeah, like I would say like from chapter 9/10 to now, I have just been absolutely engrossed. Like, I'm so excited to see what's going to happen next. I'm excited to see if things will continue to be flipped on their head. I love it when an author can do that. And the writing is so, so good. I will say, I do think the writing is fantastic. So this has every opportunity of getting a 5-star. It really does. I don't just want to give it a 5-star just because. It will really depend on the last like 170-ish pages that I have left. I really, really hope though, like I have such high hopes that it will be. I am praying for a 5-star, I really am. But this is feeling very close to it. And it really, really could get there. So I will find out in a few hours when I start my reading sprints, I resume reading to see if that becomes my very first 5-star read of the year. I'm going to do a little bit of editing now since I don't really want to read right now. So that's what I'm going to do. Been sorting some other things out for my manga channel as well. I've essentially been keeping very busy so far. It's like 12 o'clock, like so it's midday. And I have been working for a good few hours now. I was going to go to my library to pick up a book that I've reserved, but I'm just going to do that tomorrow. I might as well, since I'm at training tomorrow, so I can swing by and pick it up since it's on my way, rather than just like leaving the house to do something I could literally just do tomorrow. Even though I'm very excited to go back to my library again. I went last month and I do need to return a book. Where is it? Oh, it's in my bag. I did have to renew the loan. Even though I've read it, I had to renew the loan because I was in Iceland and I couldn't take it back in time. And I still need to take it back. So I'm going to do that and then continue my library challenge, which I am filming on top of everything else. And with this being a brand new week as well, while yesterday was still a little bit, you know, rocky, I do feel now, and I've said this before, but I'm saying it again because I do genuinely want to believe it. I do feel like a new week, new fresh start. It's going to be a great week. Let's manifest it. Oh, me baby sexy man. Ash, do you think I just gave Blood Over Brighthaven 5 stars? Do you think I just gave Blood Over Brighthaven? Do you think this vlog can finally end? Do you? I am still currently on my Patreon sprints right now. I have about 20 minutes left. So I have just less than 20 minutes to give you some thoughts and feelings towards Blood Over Brighthaven. I've just finished. This one did take me long. I say it longer to read than anything else. I started this over 24 hours ago. And it's like, okay, Gavin, that sounds normal. It is. But usually I do end up reading books of this size like in like a day. And this is taking a little bit longer. This had a phenomenal ending, especially with the characters. So the way that Sayana, she has so much to unpack and unravel and unlearn. And I love a main character who has this kind of journey, and the worldview is totally changed by the end of it. And this is exactly what this book has embodied. It has shown me propaganda. It's shown me how to combat belief and what you've learned over the years. And honestly, I feel like I've taken so much out of that. It feels incredibly relevant to today. It feels so relevant to me right now. But to have a main character, I don't think I've read a main character because, yeah, she was the only female high mage. And I was rooting for her because, you know, she had to combat so much misogyny and sexism. And then the things that she believes in, the things that she says, are things that shocked me, and it feels so relevant. But to have a main character who embodies those thoughts and feelings and has to try and move past that, it's so fascinating to watch. And I was definitely hooked by the 250-page mark because I wasn't sure what her next move was going to be. I wasn't sure how this world was going to continue forward because it felt like some life-changing things were happening and the potential fallout from it was just so great. And I honestly did love her dynamic with Tommel. I thought that was fantastic. I loved their dialogue a lot of the time. I love the challenging of each other and the learning from one another too. Boys, are you fighting again? Nearly 10 o'clock at night or something. I need a babysitter. Oh my god. And there was a lot of violence and a lot of confrontation, a lot of political stuff by the end as well, where it comes to human life and other people, the way that people are treated as well, especially people of a different place, a different race. All of those themes just really rang true to me. It really spoke to me, and I was genuinely concerned for character well-being and to see where the plot would end off. I loved it. I did. I am gonna give this 5 stars. My first 5 stars of the video, and I try to keep like a bit of a straight face when I was talking about it as well, because I feel like it's probably boring if you know like the last book in one of these vlogs is going to be the 5-star, because you're like, oh, you probably cheated as well. You were probably looking at the runtime and thinking, oh, there's only like a couple of minutes left, so this obviously was a 5-star. How dare you? I'm gonna have to think of how to rework these kinds of vlogs in the future just to bamboozle you. But I did love it, and I did want to kind of trick you into thinking, oh, he doesn't really look that happy talking about it. But no, I thought it was fantastic. I cannot wait to read the Sword of Kaigen. I cannot wait for the sequel. There is a sequel, right? Blood Over Brighthaven sequel release date. Considered a standalone novel. No official sequel planned or announced? You fucking what? Well, fuck it, it's still a 5-star. Yeah, so I'm glad I finally found a 5-star for 2025, and it was the 5th book in this vlog too. That's pretty epic. Is this my like 5th reading vlog this year so far too? I need to double check that. Maybe the number 5 is like my lucky number this year. I shouldn't be reading too much into it. Let's see how many vlogs I've done. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th vlog. This is the 5th vlog I filmed this year. And it's 2025. So I've just read my 5th book and my 5th vlog. It's 2025 and it's my first 5-star. There's something about the number 5 this year. Yeah, I'm a little creeped out, I'm not gonna lie. So these were all of the books that I read in this video. I read The Tell of Small Fortunes by Julie Leong. I read James by Percival Everett. I read Zora and Me by Victoria Bond and T.R. Simon. Or did I get that the wrong way around? No, I got it the right way around. I read Coup de Grace by Sofia Ajram and Blood Over Brighthaven by M.L. Wang. And out of all of these, Blood Over Brighthaven was my favorite, and it was my 5-star read, meaning this vlog can now come to an end. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to leave this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you haven't already. Leave all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the video. Have you read any of the books that I read in this video? What do you think of them? Did you give any of these 5 stars? I would love to speak about any of these to you down below. I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. If you'd like to join my Patreon, then the link is in the description box. But yeah, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye.